Imagine waking up to a sky that never brightens. Not storm clouds, not smoke from a fire, but a dense, global veil of ash, so thick that sunlight itself is dimmed. Temperatures fall, crops fail, seasons stop behaving the way they should. This isn't science fiction. This is a volcanic winter. About 74,000 years ago, on the island of Sumatra, a supervolcano known as Toba erupted with a force that may have changed the course of human history. But what would actually happen to us if a supervolcano erupted today? Supervolcanoes are different. They don't erupt every few decades. They erupt once every tens or hundreds of thousands of years. On the Volcanic Explosivity Index, Toba was a VEI 8, the maximum possible score. Volcanic ash blanketed thousands of square kilometers in layers over 100 meters thick. Fine ash traveled thousands of kilometers, settling in India, the Middle East, and Africa. This was a planetary event. But the immediate blast zone isn't the real threat. The real danger begins after the eruption ends. When a supervolcano erupts, it injects vast quantities of ash and sulfur dioxide into the stratosphere. These don't wash out with rain. They stay aloft for years, forming a veil of aerosols that reflect sunlight back into space. The result is global dimming. Temperatures drop. Photosynthesis slows. After the smaller Tambora eruption in 1815, global temperatures fell by about 1 degree Celsius, triggering the infamous year without a summer. Crops failed across Europe and North America, leading to famine and unrest. Now, imagine an eruption of a significantly larger magnitude. Climate models suggest a full-scale supereruption could cause global cooling of 3 to 5 degrees Celsius or more. With a severe reduction in sunlight for years, this isn't an ice age, but it's a climatic shock unlike anything civilization has ever experienced. And agriculture is the first domino to fall. Modern civilization depends on thin margins. Most cities store only days or weeks of food. Global agriculture relies on predictable seasons and stable temperatures. A volcanic winter breaks all of that. Massive crop failures would happen within one growing season. Ocean productivity would crash as plankton die off. No crops means no feed for livestock. No livestock means protein shortages. And unlike a localized disaster, this would be global. No unaffected regions could compensate. Infrastructure would follow. Ash damages power grids. Aviation shuts down. Roads, rail, and ports clog or fail. This isn't a temporary blackout. This is systemic failure. So, would humans survive? For decades, scientists believed the Toba eruption nearly wiped us out. Geneticists noticed that modern humans outside Africa have far less genetic diversity than those within, suggesting a population bottleneck. The theory was that Toba triggered a volcanic winter that reduced humanity to just a few thousand survivors. But as science advanced, cracks appeared in this story. Ice cores, lake sediments, and stone tool records paint a more nuanced picture. Yes, temperatures dropped sharply after Toba, but some regions were already cooling. Vegetation in parts of Africa showed little disruption. Stone tool traditions in India continued without interruption. Neanderthals survived in Eurasia, and Homo sapiens persisted across Africa and Asia. The eruption was a catastrophe, but maybe not an apocalypse. So, what does this mean for us now? Modern humanity is both more resilient and more fragile than our ancestors. We have global communication, scientific forecasting, and technology for controlled environment agriculture. But we also have 8 billion people, hyper-specialized supply chains, and a deep dependence on electricity. A supervolcanic eruption today wouldn't end humanity. But it could end global civilization as we know it. Survival would favor regions with food reserves, energy independence, and communities able to adapt quickly. The story of volcanic winter isn't just about destruction, it's about survival. Some humans lived through Toba. They adapted, they endured, and every person alive today is here because they did. Understanding these events isn't about fear, it's about humility and preparation. The planet has reset itself before, and one day it will again. The only question is whether we'll be ready. I hope you have found this dive into supervolcanoes useful. Subscribe for more past, current, and future events in our world. Thanks for watching.